Hi everyone, and welcome back to Dancer's Feed. In today's video, we're going to be talking about mental health and 10 different ways that you could help yourselves during this time. Alright, so I know this video is a little bit different than my other videos, but it still falls under the category of wellness and nutrition. And I think it's really important to start off by saying I'm making this video because it's important for dancers to have good mental state and also for humans. And for what's going on right now in these times, I think sometimes we have to take a step back and reassess ourselves and recharge our mindset in order to go forward. I hope that makes sense. Now, again, this list goes for anybody, but specifically for right now because of everything that's going on. Now, before we begin, I want to make note of 3 different things. Number 1, I am in no way a mental health professional, so I do not have degrees in psychology or psychiatry. In fact, my degrees are in dance and dance education. But like I said before, even dancers, or everybody, right? We all have a mental state. We all have to take care of our mental health. So these are my opinions, and these are things that actually have worked for me one time or another in different stages of life. All right, so I hope that you find this helpful and that you could take some things that I'm telling you and really implement them in your daily lives. Number 2, again, because of everything that's going on right now, I think this video is really important because we have to take care of ourselves before we're able to take care of others. So if we continue looking at negative things or feeling negative things, eventually that will come back and bite us. It's going to affect us if our cortisol levels are just running on high all the time. If we are always using 100% of our energy to try to get a point across, we're gonna start running low on fuel, and in this case, mental fuel. So you need time to take a step back, recharge yourself, and then push forwards again. Because without that, you're just gonna get burnt out, and your voice is just not gonna be as strong as you want it to be. And the third thing is, please stay tuned for the end of the video because I'm going to speak about one specific strategy that is by far the most important, in my opinion, out of all the ones I mentioned today. So technically, this is 11 ideas or 11 methods and strategies to help you with your mental state. All right. Now, this list does not go in any specific order, but the first few are really the obvious ones, and then we get into the not so obvious ones as we go on. So let's begin. The first one is a balanced diet. Now, I don't always make the best choices when I eat, but that's okay, and I'm okay with that. And I think that's really important for dancers, but especially for humans to understand. You need to balance your diet out so you're eating the good and with the bad. Now, of course, what is considered good and bad varies from person to person. I'm not a nutritionist, so I'm not going to get into that right now. However, I do have a video with a nutritionist if you'd like to watch that up here. And I'll also leave a couple of links of some recipes that I've put up on this YouTube channel. But basically, I go by this rule. I don't know where I heard it from or if I even did hear it from anyone or if I just made it up. But basically, every day I kind of go with 80% of really healthy food and 20% not so healthy food. Again, that varies from person to person, and it also varies day to day for me. But one tip I want to go over is I start off the morning right. Like I have a beautiful smoothie or a smoothie bowl in the morning with some carbs by fruits and some protein from nuts, seeds, or peanut butter. I personally love drinking smoothies. I think they're just really easy, they're really light, and in the morning I'm not that hungry, so this is just a great way to just give me a kick and give me the perfect nutrients to start off the day. I usually add strawberries, bananas, a whole bunch of different types of fruit, and spinach, and then I personally like to add peanut butter because I don't like protein powder. My husband will put it in once in a while. I think I won't notice. I do notice because protein powder has a distinct taste. But yeah, that's just my personal thing. I don't like protein powder. But I think it's really important to couple carbs and protein simultaneously. And then when you start off the day good, you're going to feel good, and then you're going to most likely make good decisions throughout the day. And again, it's that balance. Find that balance. It's really, really important. Number 2 is exercise, and this goes hand in hand with a balanced diet. Again, this is pretty obvious, but what I always think about is the movie line in Legally Blonde when Elle Woods, or Reese Witherspoon, says, exercise gives you endorphins. Endorphins make you happy. Happy people don't just shoot their husbands. They just don't. I think it's the funniest thing ever, and I always think about that. Exercise gives you endorphins, and endorphins make you happy, right? So think of different ways to exercise. Of course, you could always do Dance Fit, which I'll leave my favorite one It's the one with me doing Dance Fit to the Spice Girls. I'll leave that up top. But think of other ways too. Like, I really love throwing football around with my husband or my brother or friends. There's just something about being outside and throwing a ball around that makes me really happy. Sometimes I go on a bike ride, and anything that's gonna get your blood pumping and make you move and sweat a little bit is considered exercise. And I suggest doing this every single day. I mean, you don't have to do 3 hours of it, but get your blood pumping for sure every day. It's very important. Number 3 is taking walks. Now, this is different than exercise because I don't have the same intention when I walk than if I were to walk for exercise. And what I mean by that is I usually just take walks with flip-flops on and just walk and talk. It's more leisurely. I'm outside getting some fresh air, talking with my husband or whomever I'm walking with. Sometimes I take walks with my mom. If you have a dog, it's a great way to walk. You could also walk a cat. That's a little bit trickier. I've tried it. I've gotten scratched. It's a whole story, but we're not gonna get into that right now because that's not what the point is. The point is, take walks, go outside, and if the weather permits, always go outside. If you could only do it inside, then yeah, obviously it's not as fun, but if you have a treadmill at home, just read a book as you're walking. Again, make it leisurely. It's not supposed to be for exercise. And it's really helpful for those who have a sedentary lifestyle or for those who have a desk job, for instance, because while exercising is very important, also just moving your body throughout the day, that's very important. This goes into the next one, which is spend time in nature. So obviously, again, taking walks outside is a great way to spend time in nature, but also doing small things like reading a book or playing with your pets outside, or even sitting underneath a tree or having a picnic outside. There are so many benefits to being outside, smelling the earth, listening to the birds chirp, feeling the wind on your skin. There are a lot of benefits to this, and I'll leave a couple of resources in the description box and also in the blog post that will be up with this. But yeah, spend time outside. Next, do something that you love. Now, what saddens me about this is I've heard so many people over the last few months say, oh, now that we're in quarantine, I finally have time to do blank. And it makes me sad because I think to myself, why didn't you find the time to do it before? Now, I'm not gonna get started on that because there's obviously so many reasons why sometimes people cannot make time for what they love, but honestly, guys, what is the point then? You need to do something that you love. Now, if you love your job, then you're golden. For instance, my husband loves his job. He loves it. He loves going there, socializing. Right now, he's having a very, very difficult time staying at home. I love my job too. I love teaching students and I love being with my teacher friends and my colleagues, but I like to do other things too that get my mind off of my job or even dance sometimes, because my whole, 90% of my life is dance, and only a small amount is nothing to do with dance, but sometimes we need that, right? So something that I fall in love with lately is planning in my Happy Planner. Now, if you don't know what that is, just look it up. Happy Planner, there's a whole following to that. Basically, it's a fun way to plan and organize your planner with stickers and washi tape. It's very, very crafty. That's the most artistic I am, besides her actually choreographing and teaching dance or dancing. Because besides that, I've never really been good at drawing, painting, sculpting, nothing. Art is just not my thing. I wish it were because I love art, but anyway. Yeah, that's something I love doing. I do that about a couple times a week, just plan out my schedule and put stickers and make it look pretty, and it's something I just appreciate, and it's just my me time. Next, meditate and mindfulness. Okay, I'm putting these two together because I can't speak so much about meditation. I have tried meditating and I have to get back into it. It is very hard, but that's because of the type of person I am. That's not an excuse. Everyone could meditate and everyone should probably meditate. And there's a lot of great resources out there of how to meditate, how to do it properly, tricks and tips to help you meditate. I'll leave some of those resources also down below and also in the blog. But other things I do is kind of like mindfulness games. And I started this a couple years ago, but we really did this at school this year, where every morning we have 10 minutes of mindfulness throughout the whole building. And it's really, really changed the way teachers kind of act throughout the day and also students. It has a lot of benefits, and there's a lot of different mindfulness activities you could do. It's very similar to meditation, but it's basically about being in the moment, being very present, and being very aware of your surroundings and what is going on. Being mindful, that's what it's about. So think about that. Number 7, digital detox. Now, this one is probably the most important for right now because all over social media, there are so many things going on, so many news sources telling us different things. And while that is very critical for this time, because we as a human race need to be informed about what is going on in areas that we are not physically in, sometimes it gets overwhelming. Actually, right now it is past the point of being overwhelming. It has gotten too much. So what I suggest is timing yourself. Give yourself 30 to 45 minutes to an hour of no social media. Now, of course, right now you're on social media listening and watching this YouTube video, which I appreciate very much, but continue watching the video, watch it all, and then after this, seriously, give yourself 30 to 40 minutes of a break, okay? Because the information that we're receiving is all pretty negative, and it's terrible, but we need this information to fight. But like I said before, we need to be good. We need to be recharged, ready to do what we want to do. Otherwise, it's just going to drag on us, and we're going to burn out too easily. So give yourself a digital detox once a day, twice a day, at least once a day though. Don't even do this once a week. You need to do this at least once a day, especially for right now. Actually, I have a friend who just came back on social media after 5 months of digitally detoxing. He just came back yesterday. And I think he's gonna regret it because right now is not a good time to come back. But I think he's gonna figure that out on his own, and then he will come back whenever he wants, or he'll stay, he'll do whatever he wants. But it's really important, digital detoxing. Number 8 is socializing. Now, again, because a lot of us are still stuck in quarantine, socializing has been very difficult. I would say that even though many of us label ourselves as introverts, we as a species are sociable creatures. Like we like to socialize. And I think it's really important to either pick up the phone and text someone or even call them. I suggest always calling or video calling somebody that you haven't spoken to in a couple weeks. Now, of course, in the beginning of quarantine, this is what all of us were doing, right? And then after a couple weeks, we're like, okay, how many times can we talk about the weather? Don't just talk about the weather. Go into deeper conversations. Talk about what's going on right now, or if you need a detox from that as well, talk about other things. Ask for advice. Ask for help for something totally random and different. Learn about each other more. Create more of a bond with your friends and with your family. These relationships are very, very important to hold on to maintain. And yes, you do have to maintain relationships. So do your best right now to continue being social as much as you can. Number 9, pamper yourself. This is like one of my favorites because I'm all about skincare. Like that's something I love doing. So this kind of goes into do something that you love. I love giving myself facials. I love anything skincare products. I try to set myself a budget every 2 months because I really could go overboard with this. Basically, yeah, give yourself a manicure. Give yourself a foot scrub. Massage your own calves. Get roll your muscles out. Especially as a dancer, that's like the best thing ever. What saddens me is I have no idea what a massage is going to look like after this quarantine because that's literally someone is rubbing your body. That was also definitely one of my top 3 things to do ever in my life. I would get a massage every single month, and I'm really scared because I don't know if they're still gonna provide massages now. I have no idea. I don't want to get into that, but pamper yourself. Do it with a friend. Do it with someone you live with. Learn how to give a nice back massage. Again, there's tutorials online of how to give a nice neck rub. It's just something to do for yourself. And again, going back to certain things that you do for fun, like your hobbies, take time to do these things and keep yourself doing these things even after we're out of quarantine. Make this a part of your daily life, okay? Number 10, morning journal. So I do 2 things when I wake up automatically. Number 1, I drink a glass of water. Number 2, I do my brain dump, which if you don't know what that is, it's basically getting a blank piece of paper and just dumping your thoughts on paper. It could be things that you have to do, things that you're a little anxious about, your feelings, all right? Just write everything down, and you could either throw it away after this or take it a step further, like I do, and then create a to-do list or several to-do lists from this piece of paper, all right? This brain dump, the initial brainstorming part, should take about 5 to 10 minutes. I normally spend 7 to 8 minutes on this. I write everything out. My hand definitely hurts at the end because I just go off, and then I definitely feel a sense of calm when I'm done. And then I'm like, okay, but now I want to organize this so I know what I have to do today. If this is urgent, I'll do it today. If it's important but not so urgent, I can maybe wait till tomorrow. You know, you have to play around with those ideas yourself. So, morning journal is something I've also only started doing recently since the Happy Planner kind of came into my life in January, and I love it. I do it every single day, and it really has helped. I'm not, naturally, I'm not an anxious person. Of course, I feel anxiety at times with certain situations, and this has definitely helped. This just helps tremendously, honestly. Okay, this last thing I want to talk about is reflection. This is vital, again, for times like these. We need to be self-aware. We need to reflect on our actions and on our words. Sometimes it could be a blessing, sometimes it could be a curse when we are overthinkers like I am. I've learned, it's been years now that I've learned how to assess myself and, you know, think deeply without going too far in, but analyzing your thoughts, analyzing your actions, and becoming better because of them and because of what you're learning is critical, especially during times like these. This is the best way to learn and grow. And the thing is, and I think this is one of the most beautiful things about life, we never stop learning. We never stop growing. We won't stop until our last breath. And that's wonderful because that's what keeps it entertaining and fun, right? That's what keeps it interesting. But we're always learning about ourselves and everything around us. And to go even deeper, I really challenge you to try to reflect on certain moments and certain things and what you could do better for the next time something like that happens again. Like that, if each individual reflects, then as a community, as a society, we will be pushed up even higher. I hope that makes sense. That's like really existential and like really deep, but I'm pretty sure my followers are pretty deep like I am. So I'm pretty sure you guys could appreciate what I'm saying to you guys. But yeah, reflection is, I think, the key here for the situation that we're in right now, but even after this situations. And before I do my outro, I just want to touch on this. This video was not made to distract us from what's going on. And I want you to really understand that this is not to distract us. We need to see what's going on. We need to be in it. We need to fight for what we believe is right. But like I mentioned before, if we ourselves are not at 100% or even at 90%, how can I help you if I'm not even there myself? Does that make sense? Don't forget to digitally detox right after this video. You take a break in order to be fresh and ready to go again, you know, tomorrow or in a couple of hours, all right? And yeah, those are my top 10 ideas. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel Dancers Feed, where there will be other content similar to this, but of course, more in terms of dance. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you all a very safe, mentally and physically safe day, and do your best, okay? Bye, dancers, and bye, everyone.